So same question how they are asking regarding the data hub means. So what are the different, what first of all they will ask what is the data hub and what are the advantages we have with the data hub. So basically what is the data hub and what are the advantages do we have with the data hub? Yes.
So data, whenever we are creating models, and at that time we should not import data into directly into our spoke models. So that's what
Okay.
we are creating data to store the data first thing. So data is like we can store the data over there, and there itself we can validate the data, and we use one central location from that's called data hub. Okay. So from there we pull the data from different data sources, pull into the data hub, and there itself we can do validation. And once we're done with the validations, then we create some like saved views in the data hub, and there we import that data import the data into our spoke models. So this is called.
Okay,
And
fine.
advantage like it takes less time to pull the data from data to like our spoke models, and we can get all the data from one central location. So there is no data ambition, it will not happen. And it doesn't take much time also for data validation also, it will happen at the same time. So these are the things that we have, and it will decrease the even the burden of the spoke models as well, so that it will helps to performance improve our spoke model performance and all these things. And we can do validation and filtering everything in data hub.
Yes.
So yeah.
Yes, these are the basic advantages we have with the data hub. But in interviewers, so this is the they will ask what is data hub, what are the advantages. So this is the fine. So till it is fine, but they don't satisfy with this answer as well. They will ask what are the best practices to use the data hub. Why do we use the data hub? That is fine. The reason advantages is fine. So how what is the best practices to use the data hub? What is mean by it? Best practices means how you should create the data hub and how you should import the data into data hub and how you um, pull data from the data hub to spoke models. So what is the spoke model and what is the data hub? What is mean by spoke model and what is mean by data hub? Yes. What is mean by spoke model and what is mean by data hub model?
Spoke models, which means like different types of modules, right? Um, like where we do calculations and everything, that we can call
Yes.
as like spoke models, right?
So example, what is give one example for the spoke model?
Like some revenue profit and loss reports, something that we can call as like spoke modules, and
So
system
that is
models
the
that can call as,
modules
yes.
that not I am saying modules.
Okay.
Models I am
Okay.
asking.
Yeah, models. Okay.
Yes.
Like supply chain model, something.
Supply chain
Actually,
model
I'm
is
not.
you one spoke model.
Yeah.
Sales and operations one spoke
Yes.
model. FP&A model is the spoke model for the data hub.
And
So what?
sales quota territory, something that we can
Yes, yes.
spoke
So
model. Yes.
basically, data hub means the source where we are storing the data, and target where we are importing the data. That is known as a target model or spoke model. Correct?
Yes. Yes.
Yes. So from we'll store data in the data hub, and then we'll pull into target model. Target model nothing but FNA model, whether it is supply chain or whether whatever it. But basically we'll store in the data hub model. So that is the purpose. So fine. So target model or spoke model are same. So data hub model is the source of the data. This is fine. So then what are the best practices to create the data hub? We have few best practices. What are the best practices? Yes, what are the best practices?
Best practices, which
how
means
should
like
we how should we build the data hub? So best practices means they will ask the question in this way: what are the best practices to use the data hub? What is the procedure to build the data hub? Whatever it, both are same. So what are the best practices to use the data hub? Ramya, do you know anything about the what are the best practices to use data hub model?
No, sir.
No. Okay. So what are the do you
Is
know,
it
Sagar,
like
anything?
ETL?
No, best practices means how we need to build the data hub model. So how we need to build the model data hub model means we have the some
Plan and disco.
plans and disco are the best practices for the building the anaplan models. Not for I am asking specifically for the data hub. Best practices we have for anaplan, we have plans and disco only. Correct? So these are the different. So anyway, what
Yes,
are the
yes.
best practices means we have few best practices to build the data hub. So what are the best practices means basically in while up, while creating the data hub we should maintain data hub model and spoke model should be in separate workspace. This is a one best practice. So data hub model and spoke model target model should be in separate workspace. And another best practice is we should create the flat list in the data hub model, and we should not create the hierarchy list in the data hub model. So this is the one more best practice. So only we should use the flat list. So why do we need the flat list means they will ask this cross question, why do we need the this flat list? So in data hub generally what happens, we don't data hub model we don't use for the reporting purpose. Reporting purpose means we don't show this data hub model directly in the UX pages. Correct? Why do we need this hierarchy list? When we want rolls up data from the child to parent. Child to parent, if I want to rolls up. So in that scenario, what should I do? I need to use the hierarchy list so that details will
Hierarchy
get
list.
added. Correct? So child to parent details will get added. If I don't want to show any reports, my module I don't want to show in UX pages. So should I need any details to aggregate from the lower level to higher level of hierarchy? Do I need? Data hub we are using for only for the storing the data and filtering the data and
And validation.
validation purpose, and we are bringing proper format and we are doing everything and we are creating the saved use and we are sending to the target model. So because of these things, so we don't need to show this data hub modules in the UX pages. We don't require to aggregate from the child level to hierarchy level. So that is the reason we should use the only flat list in the data hub. So instead of if I use the hierarchy list instead of flat list, what happens? We know very well size will get increased. Correct? Why
Yes.
size will get increased if I use instead of flat list? If I use the hierarchy list, why size will get increased? You can see
Because
here.
flat. Hmm.
So what is the difference between the um, flat list and hierarchy list? Whenever if you use the hierarchy list, you can see this is the hierarchy list I am using. Products and G3 location. Why these are the
So
hierarchy list?
are you sharing screen?
So 1 minute, give me a minute. Now are you able to see my screen?
No, it's blank. Huh?
It is loading. Wait,
Okay.
it is loading. I hope
Yes.
now.
Now we can see.
Yes.
Yeah. Now we can
So
see.
you can see here we are using the hierarchy list. Why we are saying P2 product and G3 location are the hierarchy list? What is the reason?
Because
Yes,
it has child and parent
child and parent
relationship.
list. We have the child and parent relationship. So why we don't use this hierarchy list in the data hub means, so if I use the hierarchy list generally will use a summary method as a sum. So then what happens if I make the summary method as a sum? What happens? You can see what is the cell count here. What is the cell count? 1,31,196. You can see here. So if I don't need this summary method, for flat list we don't need this summary method. Even though if you use summary method, you don't get any data. Child detail will not rolls up into its parent level. As it flat list, it doesn't consist any child and parent relationship. So simply what happened? We need to keep the none for the flat list. So how much cell count it get decreased here?
Yes. Seems half of the almost.
Yes. So if I make the none, simply you can see across the, by using the summary method what happens. So total summaries, January month's total will get in the year level. So this you are getting here blank. If even though if I want to view this view in this way. So basically by using the summary method what happens, child details will rolls up into its parent level. So you can see location list I am using, location parent is the country. Can I getting adding this location details in the country?
No, no.
No. So you can see again location region level, you can see location country parent is the region America. So these country details are getting adding in the region level.
Region. No, no.
No, not adding. Even you can see we have the summary method, two summary method. Across the dimension, nothing but the across the list. Child levels should rolls up into its parent level whenever if I use the summary method. One more I have the summary across the time. Means month detail should be add in the year level. So if I turn on summary method, what happened you can see. If I turn on summary method, are you able to see now here totals?
Yes. Yes.
Location details are adding into country level, country details adding into region level, you can see. And across the time nothing but you can see across the months details are getting adding into year level, correct? So that is the reason we have the summary levels two things. If I select here, you can see main summary, see the summary method. So you can see this is the main summary. Some main summary means the across the dimension nothing but the list level. Child list should be add into parent level. Across the time nothing but month details should be add in the year level, correct?
Yes. Yes.
Yes, these are the two summary. Main summary nothing but the dimensions. Whatever the dimensions we are using, child details should be rolls up into its parent level. And across the time nothing but time summary nothing but the months level details will add in the year, quarter, whatever you use this you have, it will get add in
Different
the
times.
it parent level. So that is the major thing. So by if I turn off summary method, simply my model size will get reduced, correct? So because of this one model size will get reduced and button also will get decreased. So because that is the reason in Datahub model we should not use hierarchy list. So this is the second best practice. Is it clear?
Yes.
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 So this is our second best practice. So what is the another best practice means? So we should create the saved views in the Datahub model. We should create the saved views and we should apply the filters and validations and we should send into target model. So by doing this one, what happens? If you send only required data, we are not sending unnecessary data, unfiltered data we are not sending. So by doing that one, what happening? What benefit you will get? Only if you send in saved views data, if I am creating, even we have created so many saved views here. So what is mean by this saved view? Future periods, you can see one saved view I have created. Whenever I create and saved view, it will get saved like this. So this is a saved view. So what is the saved view? Future periods. So according to this level 1 model, what is our current period and future periods? What is the past period? Which month we are
Yeah,
assuming as a
19.
current?
2019
2019 is the past year. You can see
actual.
here. In time you can see, time pen you can see. 20, 2020 is our current year, and 2019 is the past year, 2021 is the future year, correct? So that is the reason if I ask
Yes.
future periods, nothing, even we are assuming we are in the January 2020 only, then January from 2020 onwards, starting onwards, it becomes future periods, correct? 2020 and 21, both the years are the future period for us. So that is the reason in my saved view what happening, which data I can see here. Yes, which data I can see here?
Forecast data.
Forecast 2020 and 21. If I remove this filter, what happens?
We can see all actual data also.
Actual data also. That is the reason by applying the filters, by creating the saved views, what happening here? We are we are sending we are sending only wanted data. We are sending in the target model. Is it clear? What
Yes.
is another
Yes.
third best practice? So this is the
Yes.
one more
Yes.
best practice. So this is that fine. And what are the other best practices comes means, so whenever you are importing the data, we should import from our import from the saved view, source should be saved view, and target it may be list or module, not a fine, it is a fine, but directly from uh, directly we should not send import data from the default view. So that is also one best practice. So our source should be saved view, and target should be whether it is modular, list or fine. So why we are not asking to import data from default view? Yes, in default view what happening here? Yes, why we are
Have more data,
we have the
unnecessary
more
data.
data,
More
unnecessary data
data
we
and
have,
it will increase the size of the model.
increase the size. So that is the reason what we are trying to do. Only wanted data only we are trying to send here, correct? So that is the reason. So target source should be saved views and target should be list or modules. So these are the another best practice. So give me a minute, I will get back to you. Yes, Fazil, can you count what are the best practices so far we have counted?
like in data hub we should have only like only flat list. We should not have hierarchy, and while importing data, the source should be saved views. It should not be uh, default views. And along with that, wherever we have a summary method, if it is not required, wherever we don't want aggregation, so we should remove that summary method, so that the size will get reduced, and model size will decrease, and hence performance can be increased.
Yes, in a data hub we should not turn off that one. Only simply will use flat list so that there is no requirement of turning off our summary method. Correct, by using the flat list. It doesn't require. Like that we should say only flat list we should use. Okay, go ahead.
And one more thing, we should give proper naming convention. Like for while importing, we should give proper name. Like import data into data hub, imports sales data into data hub, like that. So by just saying the name of it, we should be able to understand what is there in that for the particular actions or imports.
What was that, Fazil bhai? We should give proper naming convention to what?
Yes, Fazil, what? Come again, sorry. Yes.
We should give proper naming for the import actions. We should give proper imports like sales data into data hub, yeah, or sales data in import. Suppose we are importing sales data into data hub, so we should give the name of the action as import sales into data hub, like that. We should give proper naming
Yes. So that is
so that
fine.
it will be.
That is still fine, not a issue. So generally, what should we do? Like naming convention is the normally best practice for the Anaplan. Like in plans and disco only, we have that even auditable nothing but everyone should, whenever if you review the model, we should easily understand. So that purpose we should give the proper naming convention, and each and everything that comes under the plans and disco only. That is not a data hub special best practice. So we have to maintain this data hub and target spoke model should be separate workspace. Data hub we should use the flat list, we should not use the hierarchy list. And in data hub we should create the proper saved views, and we should import, and we should filter the proper, and we should import, and source should be saved view and target should be list or module. But directly from list we should not import, we should not import from the list. That is also why means, if you want, what is the reason means, if you import from anything from the list, so what happens, you don't have filter option and everything. So filter option where can we do? In modules only we can do, correct? Where can we do the filter? Can we do the where do we have the filter option in our Anaplan?
In modules, while building
Modules
modules.
only we have the filter. In list do we have any filter option? We don't have.
No, no.
No.
So that is the reason. So we should use source as a saved views, and we should not use source as a list. So that is also one best practice. And other than that one, so
We should automate data flows also, like batch imports. If the data is similar, we should schedule batch imports, and
that
whenever possible, we should schedule automation using CloudWorks.
so that is fine. Still, that is the whenever for data import purpose, that is the best practice we can say. So but data hub, especially uh, data hub best practices I am looking. And even
Asif
so
bhai,
what?
can you please repeat the data best practices one by one? The first one is actually we should be using the flat list so that no it can reduce the space on the module, and that is one thing. And
Yes.
another one is that you said we should be using the saved views so that
Import.
it can also help us to help us to import the required data, right?
Yes, correct, correct.
In first point, you told something, Nasib, and that like
Data hub and spoke
Data
model
hub,
should be
spoke
separate
model, and separate
workspace.
workspace.
yes, yes, right.
Yes. So these are
What is
the
the audience?
different.
Can you please come again?
Data hub and spoke model should be in separate workspace.
Asibai, if you can repeat all the points, I'll just make a note of it.
Okay. So first of all, try to write down these points. Even I will share this recorded session, not a issue. And first point is our data hub and spoke model workspace should be different. First point, data hub, spoke model and
This
date.
concerns are best practices, Asibai.
Yes, Anna, data hub
Yes.
best practices.
Data.
Data hub best practice. These are the data hub best practices.
Okay. First point,
Ye-
Asibai.
Yes. So data hub and spoke model should be in separate workspace. This is the first point.
Data hub and spoke.
Spoke model should be in separate workspace.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, Asibai. Second.
Second, we should use flat list in data hub. We should not use hierarchy list. Second point, we should use flat list in data hub. We should not use hierarchy list.
Okay.
So Ramya, are you pointing out this? Are you noting these points?
Yes, sir.
And third point, we should validate the data and send into target model. We should validate the data and send into target models.
And we can mention as like we should validate and filter. Is that fine? And only validation.
Validate nothing but filtering only.
Okay.
No, Asibai, can you please explain more about this point? We should validate the data and send it to the target model in the sense, no, what all we need to check here in validation, what all we need to check?
So valid data we should check.
Which data that we looking for? Like
Yes, which data we are looking for, that is known as a valid data. So like if, for example, if you have 3 years, for example 3 years we have in the Anaplan level 1 model, actual and forecast and actual 2019 and 2020 21 actual data we don't want. So that is the reason we should validate that 2019 data and only we should send 2020 and 21.
Okay, so then we can say that we should validate and then only send the required data to the target model. We can write it like
Yes,
this, right?
yes. And where are other guys? We can't see Chiranjeevi, Balakrishna, and Srinivas. I hope they are looking very busy. Yes,
Yeah, Bala, I think you said he's in marriage, right?
yes. He told that one. Where is this Chiranjeevi and Srinivas? If Bala is there, then only he will come.
Chiranjeevi is not joining from long back. I think he's updated.
No. He's joining.
So that is I
He's joining sometimes.
I'll check with Srinivas.
So, and what is the other, our source, what is the one more best practice? Source should not be list. source should be saved view. Source should be saved view. It should not be list. Why means in source, in modules we can do the filter and everything. That is the reason we are selecting source as a saved view only. Take this point, source should be saved view.
Asifai, source should be in saved view in the sense, you mean to say that you are referring to the source model, whatever that you are referring to, it
Source
should be
should
in
be
the
saved
saved
view,
view.
nothing but wait. Source should be saved view. It should not be list. So write down this one, then I will explain. Source should be saved view. It should not be list. So these desired people, mostly they are asking reverse and reverse on this data hub only. So we should be aware about this one. So from where we are getting the data into data hub, and so again where we are sending, what we are doing, and what are the roles and responsibilities, and what are the reports we have prepared. So these are the things they are deeply they are asking. We should ready for each and everything. Even for client details also we should be ready. What type of client you have worked, and what are the product they used to manufacture. So like that they will ask everything regarding project and reports, and we should be ready for explain all those things. So that is the reason regarding client we should be very strong. Yes. So what is the source means? While pulling data from data hub to spoke model, we should import from saved view, not from general list. So that is mean by source. Are you clear what I am trying to say, Jilani here?
Okay, okay.
Importing, which
So
means
whatever the data
importing.
that we are, yeah,
Yes, please.
whatever the data that we are trying to pull into data hub, it should be from the
Not into data hub.
saved view of the.
Not into data hub, from data hub to spoke model. While pulling data hub to spoke model, while pulling data from data hub to spoke model, we should use the saved views, not list. That is my that is my answer. So not while importing, like other data sources are different. From data hub to target spoke models, we should use the saved views for the importing.
So while pulling the data from data hub to spoke model, source should be in saved view, and it should not be from the list. Is
Yes,
what, right?
yes, yes.
Okay.
Yes, Sagar, are you asking something?
No, no, same one only. No, it's fine. Yeah.
Okay. So, Ramya, did you note down this point?
Yes, sir.
And one more thing, um, data hub best practices we should use. One more best practices. So we should use separate data hub for the separate model. We should use data hub, separate data hub for each and every model. So that is also one data hub best practice. We should maintain separate data hub for the every spoke model.
Yeah, but generally we will have only one data hub, right? For different spoke
No,
models from the from
no,
one
no,
data
no.
hub.
If that models are related models, so then in that scenario we'll use only data hub and we'll pull into different sources. So if the use cases are different and if the models are different, in that scenario we should maintain the separate data hubs. But best practices is creating the separate data hub is the best practice.
Can you please repeat this point, last?
Yes, every spoke model we should create the separate data hub. This is the best practice. Yes, these are the best practices for the data hub. So tomorrow we have class at 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. So be ready for this one. How we will upload different types of excels in the data hub and what is the transaction data and how we will upload. These are the each and everything we will discuss there. And so we should be ready for that one for tomorrow 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. And so till that time you can give the mock interview on this one, Fazil and Sagar and Jilani. Yes, can you give, Fazil, can you start? What are the best practices each and everyone?
Yeah, yeah, but